Hi, I'm Nancy, an elder of the Strangers Gate Coven of the Temple of the Spiral Path. Welcome to TSP's Imbolc video. This Sabbat on the pagan wheel of the year is linked to the Celtic goddess Brige, also called Bridget, Bridie, Briosate, and similar names. This goddess is known as the patroness of healers, bards, and smiths. Interpretations of ancient texts offer various origin tales for her, including the possibility that she's the daughter of the good god of plenty known as the Dagda, and the warrior goddess the Morrigan. She's also celebrated as Saint Bridget by the Catholics, and in Ireland as Mary of the Gales, she's one of the patron saints alongside Patrick and Columcille, or Columba. Brige is the fire in the head, the flame of inspiration, so candles are often used in her worship. Kildare, from the Gaelic Kildara, meaning church or grove of the oaks, is her hometown, where there's a sculpture of Bridget's flame in the central town square, plus a cathedral and 2 sacred wells. The cathedral was built on the site of a medieval church where Bridget's eternal flame was tended daily by 19 Brigandine nuns and left for Brige herself to tend on the 20th day. There's a modern Christian spirituality center called Solas Brige, where a flame is kept lit for her as a symbol of peace and hope, and the nuns invite folks of any faith to visit, join them for Imbolc and other celebrations, and take the tour of the center and Bridget's wells. One of the wells is called her Wayside Well, as it's sort of hidden away near the parking lot of the National Stud, where they breed racehorses, and it's visited less often than this renovated space, with a smaller well, a statue of Saint Bridget, and some archways, a natural spring, and stones for the Stations of the Cross. Here's the Clutie tree, where visitors can tie small ribbons and such to ask for her blessings for loved ones, and a photo of the well in County Clare, where offerings of all sorts are left for her. There are wells, Clutie trees, and other sacred spots all across Ireland, and folks visit them to ask for healing and inspiration, and to collect water for devotional and magical work. Brige has inspired a plethora of songs, books, crafts, and more, so it's easy to find resources about her and her worship. I recommend this well-researched, informative book by my friend Courtney Weber, and not just because it includes a poem I wrote several years earlier, from which Courtney created a lovely ritual. I've been a priestess of Brige for many years, and got myself this tattoo in her honor. Oaks are sacred to her, so my art shows an acorn fairy presenting a Bridget's cross, with some flames of inspiration emanating from it. Later in this video, I will tell you more about the Bridget's cross and teach you how to make them yourselves.
Hi, I'm Athena with Strangers Gate Coven. Imbolc usually falls on February 2nd. It's the 3rd Sabbath on the wheel of the year. It is also known as Oimelc, Brigantia, and is Christianized as St. Bridget's Day and Candlemas. Imbolc means in the belly, giving a reference to the seed growing in the ground. It is the quickening of the year and the first fetal stirrings of spring in the womb of the mother. It is an awakening of the earth and all its creatures. Imbolc was an important time for our ancestors because new animals were being born, animals like cows, sheep, and goats. It is a festival of the lactating sheep, which is derived from the Gaelic word oimelc, which means ewe's milk, or Imbolc. Herd animals have either given birth to the first offspring of the year, or their wombs are swollen and the milk of life is flowing. It is a time of year associated with beginning growth. Imbolc is an initiatory period for many. It is a fertility celebration of the first order of life. The goddess is both mother and maiden. She has recently given birth and is fruitful and creative. She is maiden. The god is young and is growing. It is celebrated as a time to remember the warmth of the sun and give reference to the young sun god as he grows to fullness. It is a time of hope and of looking forward. At this time, we are midway between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. The days are getting longer, although it is still winter. Changes are already taking place. Although this holiday falls in the dark half of the year, its name connects it to the goddess rather than the god. Agriculturally, it is a time when the ground was prepared for planting. It is a time for blessing the seeds and for consecrating our agricultural tools. It is a time when we plant the seeds of our hopes and dreams for the coming summer months. Imbolc marks the end of winter and the beginning of spring. It is a festival of growing light and the potential for new growth. Candlemas is celebrated as the Feast of Lights, known as the Feast of Purification of the Blessed Virgin Mary. Candles are lit at midnight as a symbol of purification. It was at Candlemas the people of ancient Europe made candles for the coming year, having saved the fat from meat eaten through the winter. Imbolc was an important time to the ancient inhabitants of Ireland, as it was seen in the Neolithic structure known as the Mound of the Hostages in Tara, Ireland. It is here where the inner chamber is illuminated, as it is perfectly aligned with the rising sun of both Imbolc and Samhain. Today, this holiday is mainly connected to weather lore. Traces of the festival of the growing light can even be traced to America, known as Groundhog's Day celebration on February 2nd. On February 2nd, in a Native American tradition, it falls in the cleansing time. The Native Americans believed humanity evolved from animals. In their lineage, they counted the Wojak, who himself was a groundhog, and from whose name the common name woodchuck evolved. The Native American tradition honoring the groundhog to have merged so well that Groundhog's Day was recorded as if it were a German holiday. So what was traditionally called Groundhog's Day was a traditional pagan rite of spring adopted by Christianity, and then introduced to a modern culture as folklore. If the groundhog sees his shadow in the morning, it means there will be 6 more weeks of winter. The custom comes directly from Europe and Scotland in particular, when an old couplet goes, "If Candlemas Day is bright and clear, there'll be 2 winters in a year." Imbolc is a time for cleansing, as the season focuses on new beginnings and clearing out the old, which is a most appropriate time for spring cleaning. It's a time to cleanse and bless your house, to seek inspiration, and to purify yourself. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and have a blessed Imbolc.
Hi, I'm Ruth Ann, also an elder of Strangers Gate Coven with the Temple of the Spiral Path. Here are a couple of ritual ideas to celebrate Imbolc. This first one is a house blessing. Done on the eve of Imbolc, it is a simple working that can be done as a solitary or with your family. First, place some snow in a water bowl and allow it to melt. Watching it melt is very magical. Then take a small pine branch, perhaps one from a tree that has been discarded after the holidays, and dip it into the melted snow. Light a white candle and move through the rooms in your house, sprinkling a little of the water and holding the candle up as you speak your wish for good health to all who use these rooms. If you prefer, you may sing a song as you walk through the house, or just walk quietly. I find the best time to do this is just about midnight, when all is quiet in the house. This second working, calling upon Brige's bard aspect, is for a larger group. Once your circle has been cast according to your tradition, your high priestess will offer some words about Brige and then lead everyone in writing a poem together, with each person adding a phrase or line until you have your finished poem. One person will be in charge of writing it down. This poem could be about Brige or in praise of her. Once it is finished, your high priestess will lead everyone in reciting the poem. Afterwards, you might all sing a song to seal your work. This can be adapted for a solitary as well. Blessed Imbolc.
Traditionally, in Ireland, when they make Bridget's crosses, folks go out and pull green reeds from the ground in order to weave them together. As an urban pagan, I don't have access to such reeds, so I tend to make mine out of cocktail straws, regular straws, or even twisty ties. I will also use pipe cleaners, which is what we'll be using for my demonstration on how to make Bridget's crosses. We will be learning how to do the traditional four-armed version, but there are other parts of Ireland where they do 3 arms, and also more detailed woven designs. I've chosen to use pipe cleaners because they will stay their shape, and I've chosen white for healing, red for the fires of inspiration and for the forge, and green for Ireland. You will want 12 different pipe cleaners folded in half. You can choose a single color if you wish. I just chose 3 to show the weaving more clearly, and 1 straight one. So you will take your straight one and 1 of the bent ones and fix it to the center. And you will take 1 of the other bent ones, put it across the one that you just did, and squeeze it in the center. Turn another quarter turn. Take another of your bent versions, put it around the last one that you just did, and again give a little squeeze at the center, and another quarter turn. You simply keep taking 1 of the bent pipe cleaners, putting it around the last one that you did, and doing another quarter turn until you have all of the pipe cleaners around the core one. You just want to make sure that it's next to the perpendicular one so that you get a nice weave version. Just a little squeeze, another quarter turn, again next to the vertical, give another quarter turn, and continue until you have used up all of the pipe cleaners that you've put aside. You will then have a lovely central weave and 4 nice straight arms of your Bridget's cross. And gather together each end, take 1 of your pipe cleaners and twist it around in order to keep it together. And you will then have your very own Bridget's cross. Thank you for joining us for our TSP Imbolc video. I hope you have a lovely and happy holiday with many of Bridget's blessings. Blessed be.